Welcome back to another episode of Growth Through Ganja Smoke with me, Miss Pearl. Short story tonight. Damn, I actually got a couple short stories. So I done had this mic and then this USB connector for a little while now. Like I've recorded quite a few episodes. I just found a fourth piece and it didn't change the whole game. So now I don't even know how to act. I'm excited now. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I bought an ounce of Pineapple Express. I still don't think it's an ounce. I think they got me. I think I got this time. This episode is called A Star is Born, and it comes from Jay-Z and J. Cole. And this is my perspective on the Tank versus the Reaper fight this weekend. Of course, I had to go see it. I went to the Dave and Buster's in Silver Spring. It wasn't too packed, which is why I like going to that location when the big fights are happening because I can always get a seat. Like right before the main event. So people be playing games and it started to die out a little bit. And then it only really started to pick up around the main event. So slide in there a little early, give me something to eat, chill, talk, whatever, and then wait for the fight to come on. Let's just say I was not even expecting for it to be pretty much midnight for them to fight. When they said that the car started at 8, in my mind, I was still thinking like, we're good till like 10. But then I was like, if the preliminaries start or the early cars start at 5:30, I had it fucked up. Okay, so this what it is. Now I'm getting it. I'm looking at it like how I would watch UFC because that's what I'm usually doing when I'm out watching the fights. I'm usually at a live UFC event at some bar, craft house, wherever. Or maybe even Dave and Buster's in Silver Spring. Me and my twin flames first date was at Dave and Buster's in Silver Spring. And it was a UFC event. I when I want to watch a certain fight, I really want to watch it. Like the Benavidez and Morrell fight, I really wanted to watch that shit. I don't remember exactly what happened. Maybe my kids got sick, but I couldn't go nowhere. So I was just chilling. And my mother ended up finding the fight for free on one of them little free streaming links. So I was like extra grateful. I was more grateful like and it's like I don't even know how to really feel about the draw. But again, I watch a lot of UFCs, so I already knew from watching UFC if you don't beat the shit out the champ or knock the champ out and it goes to a decision and the champ was hanging in there and the champ was throwing some real good shots all the way up to the end, you're not gonna win. But neither one won, neither one lost. And of course, I've been, hearing different things. Tank seemed like he had that same off night that Shakur Stevenson had when he was in the rings apologizing for his performance that night, and he still won. So now I need to go back and look at that fight because it wasn't like a big, huge pay per view. So I don't even know if I knew about the fight before the fight happened. I don't really even know. The Israel Adesanya versus Strickland fight is like, what's his name? Strickland? What's his whole name? So annoying. Sean Strickland. So the Izzy versus Strickland fight, Sean beat the shit out of Izzy all night, whole 25. He didn't lose one round. He beat the shit out of Izzy. He had a solid plan and he beat the shit out of Izzy. So there was no doubt that he won that fight. But there are UFC fights where we were like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was kind of thinking that Connor lost both fights to Nate Diaz, but I guess in the second one, because again, he didn't get completely knocked out and he did have a better game plan that, they gave him the fight because he did execute that game plan. And, Nate is a dog for real. And then so we'll circle back to Lamont and Gervonta. I'm glad that it's a draw. I'm not even going to hold you because this means that this put Tank in a place where he needed to be. And for real, to me, Tank don't have shit to prove to nobody. I feel like his record is solid. I just feel like it's 2025. It's a whole new year. You did this March 1st, too. So we can't, it's just time for a new Tank. It's just time for a Tank on Mountain Dew. And it just is what it is. And then it's even more motivation for Lamont because we already know with the second fight, there will be no doubt. There will be no doubt in nobody's mind. How do I feel about this whole eye burning shit? Oh no. Because if his hair, it's no way he was just sitting around from Wednesday to Saturday. And his hair was looking fresh as shit. And after the fight, that's when sweat the most, blah 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 blah. But I don't think he was sitting around from after he got his hair done till Saturday. I just don't believe that shit. So if she's saying that she did his hair Wednesday, so he should have been straight even before the fight, like he probably even Friday. So he was just doing nothing. Cause I remember when the Frank Martin fight was happening, and the nigga Frank was in the back doing nothing. And Tank was like warming up. And I'm like, Frank can't be serious right now. Your man is in the back chilling. With the upgraded Tank that's getting ready to come. It's like it's gonna be like Optimus Prime and Sentinel Prime. I don't even know who is who. It's just gonna be big as shit. But one thing I do know, I will say this. One of the reporters asked Lamont if he wanted to come to the city to fight, and I just want to vote no on that. Unless they finna do a whole press conference and tell everybody we keeping the peace or whatever. Nah. Mm-mm. 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 Don't bring it to the city. Where? And then Baltimore is 45 minutes up the road. You want Baltimore down in DC? Unless y'all finna do like some donating to the homeless type events where everybody come together, big barbecue. So I don't know. I don't fucking know. Keep the fight out the city. Both cities. Cause again, DC only 45 minutes from Baltimore. Everybody just wants Tank to lose so bad. and his fear of losing got the best of him because he was also talking about he was arguing with his corner. And then I had a feeling he did change up his main coach. And I'm just thinking, like, okay. I mean, why wouldn't you train with your daddy for this one? And so I can like feel it in Calvin's voice when he was at the press conference too. And he was like, I just want Tank to do whatever Tank want to do, which means that they've probably, you know what I'm saying, something, a conversation or something was probably had that, you know, came trickled down to whatever it did. Then he just had a baby. And it's not even about the excuses. I'm just a real fan of combat sports. And I like boxing before I liked UFC, but if I would have saw UFC as a child, I don't know. I don't know. I never doubted Lamont. Not not one time. Never. I always, when people was asking me, I'm like, well, you know, I just don't know. And I like to look at boxing the same way I look at UFC, but differently. You know what I'm saying? Because the UFC, nigga might get his head knocked off, and that joint end up in the shadow realm somewhere. UFC is it's all over. Like it's like the type of excitement, like you never know what type of knockout you finna get with UFC. I had a sip of my drink of the Masvidal fight, and it was over. I sipped the drink, and then I looked up, and it was over. I think it was Aspen. I don't know what his name is. He looked nice. Um, but I really enjoy watching the fights. And for me, in combat sports, it's always 50-50. But what I do know is that if you're fighting a champion and the champion is hanging in there with you, and it's pretty much tit for tat, and you don't knock him out, it's a chance you might lose this one. And I feel like Lamont's been through that before because I did see a fight. I think it was his only loss where it was something like that. See, and I don't know about every single, you know, boxer because I'm still, and I try not to get too invested in other people's lives. So I just consume a little bit at a time. But like people like Abdullah Mason, like I really love watching. And I've never seen Keyshawn fight. Maybe I did. Maybe I seen some highlights. I really like David Benavidez. I feel like David Benavidez versus Terrence Crawford would be so great. I feel like the Tank and Shakur fight is coming. And then Shakur had a fight. Niggas was just clowning him, talking about, oh, he fought a full time electrician. So it's like you can't, it don't matter what you do in the sport. People just gonna see whatever they want to see. But I feel like his fear of loss got the best of him. And I think from here, Tank is gonna go up. We're definitely gonna get the knockout with um the rematch. If he say the rematch is at the end of May, that's even betterer. Cause that's like right down the street. It's right there. Alex Pereira, like, is a monster. I thought Jamal Hill for sure was gonna go in there and make him work for something. He popped the shit out of him. Man, folded back on his foot and everything. I was like, God damn. Like, And his girl was there in the crowd. I was like, damn. I mean, he popped the shit out of him. And then this was after an almost illegal shot to the nuts. And he was like, don't even worry about it, ref. I got it from here. Popped the shit out of him. I was like, damn. Who else? I remember when that night was funny as shit. I remember when Ronda Rousey got that ass whooped by Holly Holm. You want to talk about some people who was really getting away with shit? Like, people like to act like Tank's record is not solid. He beat up Pitbull with one hand. I wouldn't give him the rematch either. The only person I would really say is on Tank's record that's a fucking goofball would be Rolly. Rolly is like short but shorty for real. That's all I get from him. I would love to see him and Ryan fight. And I don't even want to see the rematch with no damn Ryan and Tank. Now, Devin and Ryan, yes. They should definitely run that back. I'm really excited for the rematch because both of them can only grow better from here. We got the draw, and it is what it is. When he took the knee, I was confused too. I mean, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Does he not know this live? I was starting to feel like that. Willie was like, nigga, you know we can see you. Lamont was perfect for everything that happened Saturday night. I never doubted Lamont at all. And if I don't know a boxer, I don't just shit on them because I'm a Tank fan or I'm a this person fan. No, I actually go and look at their highlights. I start watching their actual whole fights, when I can to actually have a real opinion about somebody. It take a brave ass person to get in there anyway. A lot of fans, a lot of stands can be very weird. It's like nobody want to give nobody credit where it's due. Terrence Crawford didn't finish his last fight. They went all the way up. And I seen some of the shots that the other dude was throwing. That shit was, in my opinion, but somebody else would say something different. I still feel like Tank gonna beat the shit out of Shakur, and he gonna make it look easy. Now again, it still go either way because I got my retwist. My forehead feel bigger, but I am kind of glad I got it done. Shout out to Groupon and my new hairstylist. The next time around, there will be no doubt. We DC, we just need to just there will be no doubt the next time. Lamont's plan with his daddy was great. Now Tank about to get back with his daddy and get his shit together. And it's crazy. They'll say, oh, he didn't fight anybody. So you're saying that everybody on his list was some shit, which means that you discredited all of those people, whether they had belts, whether they were undefeated, whatever. Some people really did think Ryan was going to beat Tank. Some people really did. They did. They was like betting money. They really thought that shit was going to happen. And then fans don't give boxers grace. They put so much pressure on them to, if they don't do this, then they not that. Nigga, you do it. Nigga, you do it. No, I don't know. They can only grow up from here. They can only go up from here. There will be no doubt for the rematch because the knockout is coming. It's just we gotta wait to see who's gonna do it. And for the rematch, I'm still gonna be 50-50 because it can go either way. That's just how we go. That's why I don't bet. And that's why I don't pay for that shit. I'm not betting my money on no damn fight. And I'm not paying $80 to watch it either. I'm not paying $100. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can spend less on some food. A meal and the boxing all in one for like $30. That sounds better to me. I like that. Anyway, what y'all think? What y'all got to say about it? Maybe it got something, maybe it didn't. I'll be back this time next week. This has been Growth Through Gun Just Smoke with me, Miss Pearl.